What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Sometimes, man, when I'm thinking about this whole situation with Zion Williamson, they talk about how much his family has an influence over his decision making on him, period. You know, sometimes I wonder, man, if there's a person or maybe people around him that are purposely giving him bad advice. And what I mean by that is your family can fuck you over just as easily as a stranger. Sometimes the people who screw you over the most are people who's supposed to love you. And what I'm getting at is sometimes a person can act like they're happy for you and that they, you know, are happy to see the good fortunes that await you. But in reality, they can't stand it. You know what I'm saying? They compare their lives to your life and, you know, they are consciously, most of the times, trying to sabotage you while at the same time getting what they can get out of you in the meantime. So they're enriching themselves while they are encouraging you to continue in your bad habits, knowing that it can have a detrimental effect on your career. I think that's an absolute possibility of what's going on right now. Because something isn't clicking here. He is getting horrible advice. Horrible. Horrible. He is blowing it. Now he isn't as obese as an Oliver Miller or a Robert Tractor Trailer yet, but his physique is a far cry from what it was a couple of years ago. Keep in mind, Zion Williamson was not a big guy at all up until he was about 15, 16 years old. He was a relatively normal sized kid, and then he just gained like something like, what was it, 90 pounds over a 2 year period. I think he went from like 190 to 280 over a 2 year period. So this isn't a guy that just was a normally big kid that just gradually got bigger. He was a normal sized kid. And I don't care what anybody says, Zion Williamson, you can look at him, he likes to eat. You can look at his face and tell that he likes to eat. And there's nothing wrong with that. Um, if you were a journalist or if you had an office job, I mean, you worry about your health eventually, but it's not going to have a detrimental effect really on your career. But you're an athlete. You're an athlete, and you're only 20 years old, and you're having weight problems. And when you have Kendrick Perkins tell you on national TV that you need a dietitian, you know you have issues. He looks like Kool-Aid right now, man. He looks like fucking the Kool-Aid man in this picture. I don't know, man. It's just something is amiss as far as his advice is concerned. But this is the only thing I know. When the New Orleans Pelicans have to fire they when they have to fire their cooking staff to put in place people who are specializing in dietary food and essentially they're trying to keep snacks away from you, there's something wrong. I'm starting to wonder if Zion Williamson has an eating disorder. I don't know if this has ever been thrown out there, but I'm starting to wonder if he has an eating compulsion. And if he has an eating compulsion, he's in the wrong fucking area to have that. Louisiana, I think, has either the highest or second highest obesity index in the country. There's a lot of big people down there in Louisiana, and because of that food. They have some of the most delicious food that you can imagine. That's the wrong state to have an eating problem with. Zion Williamson, I don't know, man. He's this is the biggest I've seen him in a photo. He looks even bigger in this photo than he did in that other photo where they showed him going. I think he was going through drills, and you gotta wonder because look what he's wearing. He's wearing shit to try to cover up his bulk. But the only thing about it is when you're wearing it, it makes you look bigger. It makes you look bigger. So you're not hiding your bulk, you're accentuating your bulk. Now it is colder, so I understand why he's wearing that shit, but you know, he, he's he's just making himself you look bigger. You're making yourself look fatter than what you are, man. You don't even look like an athlete anymore, man. You look like a dude that's been retired. No, he has the body of like a guy like LJ who's been retired for a couple of years, you know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about Larry Johnson. And you look at him in the stands like, oh shit. Okay, yeah, it has been about 3 years since he played. Yeah, he like a regular dude now, eating and got a pot belly and shit. But Zion Williamson is 20 years old with a pot belly, and he's supposed to be, and you wonder why he keeps having these setbacks. You wonder why he keeps having these setbacks, man. And I'm gonna say this: I should know because all my life I've struggled with weight issues. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know what it's like to be very, very overweight for your size. And the first thing that starts hurting on you, the first problems that you have when you're younger and you're active is your fucking feet. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Zion Williamson is too fucking heavy. The first thing that you had to do, that you got to do in these situations, I'm not an athlete, okay? So it's more important for him to be in even greater shape. But the first thing I had to do was drop 50 pounds. And eventually that shit will go away. He needs to lose, to me, if he's 320 pounds, he has to lose at least 50 pounds. Because at 284, he was still having problems with his feet going back to college. Matter of fact, I think he had issues with feet injuries going back to high school when he was 270. So to be honest with you, man, maybe he should be like 260. But I really do wish that somebody, I said this before, I really wish somebody like Charles Barkley could mentor him. Um, somebody, somebody of some type of magnitude who can identify with Zion Williamson, somebody that Zion Williamson can respect because I don't think he's getting good advice right now. I don't think he's getting good advice. Part of it could be he think he's the man right now, but the way he's going to be one of these what if stories in about 10 years. You know, he's going to be one of these what ifs. And unlike a Oliver Miller or the late Robert Tractor Triller, may he rest in peace, unlike those guys, Zion Williamson has superstar potential. I mean, his potential as far as what he can do on the basketball court if he was in the top shape of his life and the right mental capacity is way up there. And more importantly than that, even more importantly than that, is his potential financial uh, ceiling. This is a guy that could create immense wealth, not just for himself, but generational wealth, which is something that a lot of us in the black community lack, which is generational wealth. So I really wish this guy the best, man. I hope that he loses all this weight that he's put on, and he gets more serious about it. And you know, we'll see. Tell me what you guys think.